Hello there, and welcome back to some more mindfulness. I've been sitting here just quietly, just feeling into what it could be that I would talk to you about today, or what we could do together, because I know that the last couple of sessions we've been doing practice together, and I think it would still be good to do, a little bit of practice, and I think it would be worth carrying on with counting each breath as we have done. I think that probably would be good for a lot of people who are struggling to keep their mind in one place, to just concentrate on what is in front of them and not get carried away by thinking, particularly at this time of year, when traditionally there's a lot to do. We have more people to think about, and even more so perhaps at this time, because we're having to negotiate how to have a Christmas together without being able to be free to mingle with who we want to meet. So there's quite a lot of stuff there up in the air, and if you're on Facebook or any of the social media, of course people are giving voice to their opinions on a number of things to do with the restrictions that are in place, how the government are handling it, and maybe thoughts about the new vaccine. And there's not just one opinion about all of those things, there are many different opinions. And because of the many different opinions, then there are many different feelings about it. And when it gets right down to the crunch, that's the thing that we're most interested in, is what is the emotion, or what is the feeling right now, because obviously all we ever do is experience right now all the time. And when we react to situations or to things in the news, or say we react to the restrictions that are in place, when we react to them, then that gives rise to us having an opinion about them, and then that goes on to making us feel a particular way. It gives rise to an emotion inside us. And when that whole process is reactive, then we don't have any control about how that goes. And so people get angry, they get frustrated, and if we take a step back from that and we look at it, if you think back over the last few days when perhaps you've been experiencing, a particular emotion, whatever that might be, whether it's worry or frustration or fear or angry, if you take a step away from it, then you could see that those aren't pleasant things to be experiencing. But we allow them to go on because we feel that there's no control over them, that we can't do anything about it because it's just the situation, makes me feel like that, or, a particular person makes me feel this way. But as we've had a look before, it isn't the situation or a particular person that makes us feel that way, it's our reaction to it. So You'll know that, for example, when you go to visit your parents or your in-laws, those might be two different experiences. When you're visiting your in-laws, you might notice that your partner, is reacting because he's reacting to his parents or her parents, whereas you don't have that same degree of reactivity, that you can just let them say what they have to say, because you have no history with them. Whereas you can see that your partner can get riled quite quickly by things that their parents are saying, probably because that history of repetitive reactive behaviour has gone on and on and on through the years. And so it's not the particular person even, a particular person that is irritating, it's how we receive that as well. I know when I had an example. I was driving recently with somebody as a passenger. I was driving, they were a passenger, and a car pulled out into the stream of traffic ahead of me, just caused me to slow down slightly. I could see that they were probably going to do it, pull out anyway, but my passenger got quite affronted by it, like it was a personal thing that they were doing it to him. And so there was a swearing, but also there was a mood shift. That one little incident gave rise to a shift in his mood, and I could see, looking from the outside at that it wasn't pleasant for him to be going through that. But for him, he was 100% immersed in the experience. He had no control. He was just reacting to it from a particular place, from a belief that, I'm not going to let people do that to me kind of feeling. Like he was already in victim mode when that person pulled out, and then he made it the whole thing about him. He wasn't even driving. He was just a passenger. Whereas when we get the hang of being in the here and now, and we can feel the peacefulness of it, then when a situation like that arises, we can still be in the bigger space that's just noticing everything. And then of course those things don't make me feel a particular way. I'm still connected to the peace that we can find whenever we drop thinking, whenever we no longer pay attention, or we don't give any energy to thoughts that might come up. Then we can still remain connected to that feeling of being at peace that we have every time we allow ourselves to show up knowingly in the present moment, in the here and now. And that, we could call it that way of being, probably isn't going to just happen by chance. We will have to put some effort into it, and that effort comes about in the shape of paying attention. So this paying attention isn't really much of a doing either, because wherever you are, you right now, you could describe it as, I'm here. And even if you got up and moved into another room, you would still say, I'm here. So this thing of I'm here isn't about your geographical location. It's something to do with this feeling of being, this feeling of presence. And the other thing which doesn't change, as we've said before, is that whenever you're listening to this, if you're listening to it at 12:30, or you're watching it and the video later on in the day, or even later in the week, I'm saying these words where I am right now. It's now, and I'm saying these words now. But even if you're watching the recording, while you're listening to these words, it's still now. It's now while you're doing it. So there's proof positive that it is always now. So that's something else that doesn't change. And so those are two kind of signposts, or doorways you could say, that are always available to you. So that absolutely whatever is going on in your life, those two doorways are open. The doors may be shut for you at the moment, but you can open the door and you can step through into the peace that you find when you connect yourself, when you bring your attention into simply being where you are in the here and now. That's not even much of a technique to have to master, is it? It's not like, oh, say that again. It's just bring yourself knowingly to wherever you are in this here and now. And that is what all of the meditation is trying to ask you to do. All of the techniques, all of the relaxation stuff, all of the meditations, it's just asking you to do that one thing, to come into the here and now, 100%, to bring your awareness, your attention, your focus into just being in this here and now. And of course, if you're here now, then you are here to notice things. But the trick is not to get lost in what it is that you're noticing. So this is the practice part of today's session. To just drop everything, to drop, particularly of course, to drop any thinking about anything. And just bring your attention into this feeling of being here. It's not something that's really defined, or there's a particular shape to it, or there's nothing to grab hold of much. It's just this feeling that you're here, and just stay with that. Just knowingly be aware that you're here, sitting, listening, for example. So it's one thing to be listening or watching this video, but it's another thing to know that you're listening and watching. It's a bit like if you went, or just say, later on in the day, this evening, when you're watching TV, that instead of just being immersed in what you're watching, that you actually, there's this bigger picture which is aware that you're watching TV. And if you imagine that, it would require that you're not caught up in what's going on the screen. That there's some part of you that is not exactly apart from it, but isn't lost in it, is the thing. So when we practice this breathing technique, what we're really looking to do is to see, do we know that we're here, present, following the movement of breathing in and breathing out? That's the step which is going to make all the difference. So let's have a go together. We've got a few minutes. So just sitting comfortably as we've been through before, and allowing your eyes to close. Let your hands just fall in your lap. And just bring your awareness to noticing your body breathing in and out. And be aware that you're doing that. So the focused picture is you're aware of breathing in and breathing out, in whatever rhythm your body is breathing in and breathing out. And then the widescreen angle is you're aware that you're breathing, that you're watching yourself breathing in and breathing out. So just keep following the breath with your attention, because this is just to help you stay here. It's just to help you glue yourself into being present. Your breath is always present in your body. So just keep following, just keep noticing breathing in and breathing out. And if it's difficult, if the thoughts are really crowding in on your attempt to stay with your breathing, then you could do the silent counting. So you're breathing in, you breathe 1, breathing out, breathe 2. Breathing in, 3, breathing out, 4. And all the way up to 9. So 9 would be breathing in, and then come back down again. So out would be breathing 8, breathing in, 7, breathing out, 6. And all the way back down to 1, when you just start. Breathing in is a 1, and then breathing out is going to be 2. So all the odd numbers are breathing in, all the even numbers are breathing out. And just keep breathing in up to 9 and back down to 1 again. I'll let you do that in your own rhythm, so that you don't have to stick with my breathing rhythm. You can just follow your own rate of breathing. And just silently count each of the breaths. If you like seeing pictures in your mind, if you're visually oriented, then you could actually see the numbers, maybe, as you count them in your mind. If you like, you don't have to do the counting, you could just see the numbers. Whichever way works best for you. When you get to number 9, you're breathing in on 9, breathing out 8, breathing in 7, breathing out 6, breathing in 5, breathing out 4, breathing in 3, breathing out 2. Breathing in 1, breathing out 2. We just go back up again, all the way up to 9. As you manage to steady your attention and not get lost in what number you're up to, so that you can actually stay here for a few breaths and know the sequence of the counting. These are the first signs that you're beginning to become more steady in your awareness. As you become more steady in awareness of following your breathing, you can start to widen the angle of your lens, so that you're aware that you're paying attention. You're aware that you're here. You're aware that it's now. Just following your breathing just brings you into the here and now. And if you've managed to bring your attention into the here and now, and you're not distracted by thoughts in your mind just for a moment, then you'll feel the peace that's just here and now. So let your eyes come open if you've had them closed. This is why we do the meditation, the mindfulness of being present in the here and now, in the present moment, so that we can feel the peace that's always here. Once you've glimpsed it and you know it for yourself, then that will give you the motivation to carry on doing the meditation. If you find 5 minutes is too much, then do 2 minutes. But if you feel yourself getting rushed or over busy or overthinking in these weeks as they lead up to Christmas, then just give yourself, 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes Just give yourself the chance to plug into this peacefulness, this relaxation that's just waiting for you to connect with it. I hope you do that, and I hope you get on well with it, and I hope you join me next time for some more meditation. Thank you. Goodbye.